Yeah, I think we still had the mentality, but then I think we were also aware of, what did we call it? Like the, what was it? The potential
Consequences?
not consequences.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about? What was that word?
What Foudy said?
No.
Opportunity?
No.
Implications?
No.
Hi everybody, today we are here in person with Rose Lavelle and Emily Sonnett, the two other members of my personal favorite 3-person group chat. Isn't that a thing?
Wow. How many other 3-people group chats do you have?
Not very many. Rose and Sonnett both just recently won gold medals with the US Women's National Team at the Olympics, and now they have returned to their club, Gotham FC. We're here at the training facility to catch up. Rose and Sonnett, welcome to the women's game. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
And thanks for bringing us coffees before this interview.
The first question is, are you gonna cooperate with me today? And you're already not cooperating.
You told us. You told us. Yeah, we had to.
We had a 3-person meeting in the bathroom, and I said, can you guys please try this interview? And they agreed.
She said, you guys, this is seriously my job.
I said, this is my livelihood, so like, please behave. We're off to a great start. Okay, let's get started. The Olympics. Congratulations, you guys just won gold medals. How do you feel right now? It's been about a week and a half. Have you like kind of come back down to earth, or are you still on a high from the tournament?
I'm back down, personally.
Also, personally, I'm also back
Are
down.
you tired?
Yeah.
I would say I'm pretty tired. Yeah. And just getting back into, I guess, regular routine.
Yeah, have you like adjusted back to the time zone?
Yeah. It was like 10 days ago at this point. So I would hope so. But I mean, it was a really long tournament and obviously quick turnaround between the games. So we're a little tired, but we're ready to rally.
Love that. Yeah. I love that. Okay, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the tournament. We have to rewind a few weeks. Heading to France, how were you all feeling going into the Olympics? Emma Hayes had only coached you for 4 games before you left. You're flying off to France, coming off of that weird 0-0 tie against Costa Rica. Sonnett, was there like an internal confidence in the squad as you were like on the plane heading over to France? Were there a lot of nerves? Like, how were you guys feeling?
I feel like we got Emma in, and we are learning a new system, but she's layering in what I guess Twyla kind of put into place. So it's still kind of new, but in terms of internal confidence, I feel like this group, and like historically speaking, we've always had like we're together in this. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we definitely had that. But that being said, it did feel all a bit new having new coach and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a quote Emma said in the media before the tournament. She said, the game has moved to the point that it isn't a shoe-in to get somewhere, it has to be earned. There's no given right on any day, any opponent can beat anyone. So basically Emma's just saying that women's football now is in a place where it's kind of like disrespectful of the media to keep being like, do you expect to be in the gold medal match? Like assuming that any team will get anywhere is like short-sighted. The game is so competitive now, and we're so fascinated with Emma from the outside, the way she's been able to manage the media's expectations while simultaneously training you all to be your best. Was this the message you were getting internally as well? Like, we can't assume anything. This is going to be such a competitive tournament. Like, how was Emma talking to you guys about the tournament?
I think that we were very open as a group, being like, I think in a tournament, you can't look past any game. And so it's like you have to, when we first get into camp, it's like, we're not even thinking about our first Olympic game, we're thinking about our next friendly. And then after that, it's the next friendly. So I think it was more just getting on the same page of taking it day by day. And I actually think that really eased like the nerves, because I think she had us all look at it as like, it's just another game of soccer. And when it doesn't feel as like heightened, I think we're like able to play our best and play more freely and like get the job done better. So yeah, I feel like her messaging was kind of like exactly that. Like don't look past any opponent and take it one game at a time, one training at a time, one meeting at a time. And I think that like really helped us stay focused, and also like I think enjoy it that much more.
Yeah, like going into France, it wasn't like we have to win a gold medal. It was like we have to play against Zambia first. Yeah. So you just took it one step at a time. So we were all at the Olympics in Japan in 2021. It was on total lockdown due to the pandemic. No fans, no families, no exploring, no like really even hanging out. Like we were like all isolated. It was a really bizarre Olympic experience. Rose, how much did this tournament differ from that? Was there like more potential for team bonding and going out and enjoying the tournament, or did it feel like there were more distractions? Like how do you compare the two?
I mean, it's so hard to compare the two. Well, no, it's not hard to compare the two because they're so different. But I think it like helped us be able to like get away from soccer a little more. I think in Tokyo, like we are all cooped up in the hotel and you can't get away from it. You don't have like any other like outlet. So I think being able to like go to France and be able to walk and get a coffee in the morning and like just enjoy the outside was like kind of the outlet we needed.
And I'm sure having your families there was a different, like that must have been kind of a nice release as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like you could obviously like love being with the team, but sometimes it's like, you want a little break, you want to see your family. So I think like having them there and having just like multiple different outlets during the tournament was really helpful.
Yeah, well, the team started off strong. You won 3-0 over Zambia thanks to goals from Trinity Rodman and Mal Swanson. And I remember specifically thinking that first goal that Trinity scored was going to be really key to the whole tournament for starting you off on the right foot with confidence. Trin did her Trin spin at the top of the box and slotted it home. I think because there was so much talk going into the tournament, because of that Costa Rica game, the 0-0 draw, there was talk about not being able to score goals. When Trin scored that first goal, did a weight feel like it was lifted and everybody was like, oh my gosh, we scored, we're here, we're gonna do it? Like, was that moment significant for you guys?
I feel like it was kind of like, yes, we addressed this after the Costa Rica game, obviously, and then we're starting fast in our first game. And that, obviously, Trin spin, goal, I think also the momentum and the excitement from that, I think just ended up helping, obviously, starting the first game.
Yeah, can you just explain, like, in that moment from wherever you guys saw the goal from, what does that feel like? Do you remember specifically that moment, what it felt like?
I think I was like, yes, like another one. Yes. Like it's just because I feel like the longer you wait, it could be, you hit the 20-minute mark, 30-minute, you haven't scored it. Everyone gets kind of.
Well, and then I think the other team like also like starts to gain a little more confidence the longer we go without scoring. So I think to like have an early start, and I think back in like 2019, that was like such a key for us in winning was scoring early and kind of like the other team deflating a little bit. Yeah. So I think that was.
It felt like a key moment to the audience, I think, to just be like, oh my God, we've got it. Yeah. It was such an incredible start. Okay, so after Zambia, there was another fun game against Germany in which you had a statement win 4-1, and then you beat Australia 2-1 in the final group stage game. After the group stage, you're 3-0, you'd scored a bunch of goals. I imagine the team was feeling really good. What was Emma's message to the team? Did it continue to just be one game at a time? What you said earlier, like, it's just a game?
Yeah, I think we still had the mentality, but then I think we were also aware of, what did we call it? Like the, what was it? The potential...
Consequences?
Not consequences.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about? What was that word?
What Foudy said?
No.
Opportunity?
No.
Implications?
No. What was the word? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The 2 words?
Like how we would like, kind of like the potential obstacles of the game. And then how we like address it. And so.
Oh, the exercise that we did.
Yeah.
Like a roadblock that might pop up in a knockout game.
Interferences.
Was that it?
Yeah, we just.
Potential interferences.
Potential interferences.
We found it. That was great, you guys.
Yeah.
I thought that was like really helpful.
Okay, can you explain potential interferences?
It could be your family wants to see you too much and you need to be doing recovery. But like I think the whole activity was kind of let's get it all out there. Let's be conscious of it.
Okay.
And then what can we do? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And then like how can, yeah.
But it was also on field. It could have been off field. And I think that was like the next step of being like, can we mentally prepare? Like, what would these obstacles be? Can we say it as a group? And then what are the fixes or the potential fixes for?
And I think it's helpful because you realize like you're maybe not alone in what you're thinking. I think like sometimes in tournaments, like when you get stressed or like start feeling maybe a little like pressure, maybe like for all of us, we can like kind of go inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Then I think like being able to get it out in front of the group and just like address it and be like, oh, like none of us are alone in thinking like, oh, you don't want to get too high on your highs because we like ended the group stage really good. And like, we want to be confident going into this game, but it's also like a whole new tournament, the knockout stage.
So was this coming from Emma? You did an exercise as a team with the staff to kind of put out their potential interferences and you just communicated about the solutions for them. That's what happened. Yeah. That's cool. Have we ever done that on the national team in the past?
I don't know.
Maybe not in a huge group setting like that, no.
And do you think that you're saying it helped to get those, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm interpreting this as like some anxieties or anticipation of what could be an issue, to get those out there and communicate them, realize you're not alone, and then address them as a team and what you'll do?
Yeah. And I think it just like so much of what we did in the tournament was like kind of like helping us all to stay very present and not look too far ahead, not like look too far to the next stressful thing there might be. It was like all about just like the moment you were in, and I just think that made it so much more enjoyable. And I feel like you saw that on the field. Like I feel like people were just like playing with so much joy and like truly enjoying the experience. And I think I always say, like, I think when we're having fun, we're playing our best.
For sure. We saw it off the field too. The TikToks were like so awesome. I loved seeing you guys like happy and doing your like dances in the street and like making TikToks. It was incredible. Was it fun?
Yeah.
One of the things we kept talking about from the outside was that there wasn't a lot of rotation in the starting group. Lots of players just stayed on the field for most of the game, played a ton of minutes, and you only had 2 days rest between games. Oftentimes one of those days would include traveling to a new city. What did you do to recover in those like 48 hours that you had?
Pool, Norm Attack, I do think what you said earlier, like the difference between Tokyo, you were able to get away a little bit. We actually met a lot less than frequent tournaments, in my opinion.
Yeah. So you like mentally recovered?
I would say a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think further into the tournament, and you're saying different cities, like we that travel day ended up almost being just like travel. So then I'm actually turning off and not actually having to think about soccer or
getting my
cleats on, or I don't know, doing my own recovery instead of doing like maybe a team-led recovery. I don't know, it just, the way we snuck in like mental breaks like that, I thought was really impressive.
Wow. Well, wow.
Wow, great question.
So coming into the tournament, I kept making this point about like versatility, and especially about you, Sonnett, about how valuable I thought that you were going to be to the team because you're such a versatile player. Your ability to play multiple positions, coupled with your experience at world tournaments. You have 99 caps.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And then you were all, again at this tournament, as usual, asked to play a bunch of different roles. Tierna had suffered an injury, so throughout the tournament you were subbing on as a center back, you were starting as a center back. How did your role start to take shape for you, like from your perspective as the tournament went on? And how did you approach the uncertainty? Am I starting? Am I subbing in? Especially in a position like center back.
I kind of joke. I feel like that's the most comfortable that I am because I've never actually been a starter. So I feel like I knew my role going in was going to be off the bench. And then there was injury coming off the bench, in first half. That was probably something new because I always plan like my snack routine like at halftime because I'm usually going in last 20. But I feel like my prep before the tournament to know that I think kind of like being conscious of like the activity that we did. I was conscious of it could be starting. I could definitely be coming off the bench and what those solutions look like for me. But I've always not in like a, oh, look at me kind of way, but that's been like my whole career, in any position.
Do you recognize now how important you were to the team playing the role that you did?
Yeah, I think I will. Like, I think I will. But since it was such a quick turnaround from each game, like there wasn't much time to be like, oh yeah, like I did so good, like did well for the team, because you're always looking at the next job. Right. I think I'll look back at that because you always want to be a starter, you always want to be this, but I feel like I knew that the biggest role and the best for this team and what I needed to do and what they needed was if I could play anywhere, to fix something. I think I kept saying, I feel like I was like maybe I can fix so many things. So to not be frustrated if I'm starting or not, because there's so many things that can happen in a game, in a tournament, and then I could be inserted.
You could be the answer to so many different problems.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
A fixer, yeah.
Fixer-upper.
Fixer-upper.
We nailed it.
HGTV.
Something that we talk about all the time, the three of us, is how like thin the margins are between winning and losing at this level. We always talk about the 2019 World Cup and how any one of those knockout games could have just gone differently, and the whole tournament, like we might not have won. So you won your quarterfinal game 1-0 in extra time. You won your semifinal game 1-0 in extra time. And I heard that Emma had an ultra marathoner talk to you guys about pain caves. This was like the talk of the town. I don't know if you guys were aware how much of an impact the pain caves made on on America and the media, and how pain caves is like the idea of pushing through barriers when you feel like you have nothing left. Going into extra time and winning and like grinding through that. Did the pain caves resonate with you? Is that what those moments felt like? Was like, we just have to keep pushing. This is a mental task we have to overcome.
She showed us a video of the ultra marathoner, so she didn't like speak to her. Yeah, we didn't speak to her, but I think it was like kind of about being able to push your body beyond what you maybe thought was possible for yourself. And I think especially in the Olympics with the short turnarounds and like so many games in a small period, towards the end, like it definitely is like a mental battle. And I will say, I think like, shout out NWSL, I feel like we have to play like hard games a lot, literally the whole season. So like sometimes I'm like, this is just a 3-game week and then NWSL. Like,
did you guys say that there?
No.
Who's back here though?
Yeah. It's like, I've done this.
Is that physically what it felt like? Was it that exhausting?
I know I wasn't planned to play that much, but the Japan game, I like really remember Pain Cave. Yeah. And Japan just played such a good game. And we were all so tired. Like that was like that was Pain Cave. That was like that game was like really crazy. And then I think you get over like this hump, this like physical hump of like, oh yeah, you can do it, and you start like getting your stride. But
I feel like the match day -1s were tough. But then it's like then you'd rally for the games.
Yeah.
You know?
To get up for training.
Yeah.
It just was like, you're 2 days out from your last game, and now you're 1 day out.
Yeah,
from
maybe those
your
were the
next
true
game.
Pain Cave
I think
days.
I think the trainings before the game.
Because you're like, can my Achilles get one extra rest?
Yeah. So then do you think like in that time between match day -1 training and the game, you would just get adrenaline for the game and you could just do it?
Yeah, and Celebrex.
I remember in 2019 heading into the final, feeling like I knew we were gonna win. Like I was just like, there's no chance we're gonna lose this game. Like I actually genuinely felt like it was inevitable. So I'm curious, Sonnett, your final against Brazil is approaching. Did any excitement like start to build? Did you feel like we were gonna win?
I feel like we did such a good job of like, it's just a game. I actually, I tell myself it is just like an NWSL game. You're just going out for an NWSL game. That's all you're doing. And we're so familiar with Brazil too, so maybe that felt more comfortable. I don't know if excitement really built, but we did a really good job of keeping like level-headed, like going in, because I think if we would have let the high, because I think it would have been really easy to have too much of a high with how well the tournament.
wins were.
Yeah, and just like they are 1-0 extra time. I actually do feel like the group did a really good job, like not like jumping up and down, being like yes, 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 and to peaking at the right time in terms of like emotional.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're in the final, and I would say, from my perspective, the first half against Brazil kind of felt like it was tipped in their favor. Like, we were pretty nervous watching. They had a couple great chances. Rose, I know that you were watching from the bench. Can you just describe the emotions that you were feeling, like, from that position, maybe feeling a little lack of control of what was going on in the field, but knowing that your teammates were so prepared to get the job done in that first half?
Yeah, I feel like honestly, even in the whole tournament, it's like, it's not like we had the momentum the whole time in every single game. But I think regardless, even in those moments, I knew that we had the tools to weather the storm and still like be able to flip the momentum like in an instant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like, it can be like tough in those moments, but at the same time, I still had this confidence in who we have on the field and our ability to like change the game in a split second.
Can you just describe, like, let's say Brazil scores, but it gets called back offside, or they almost score. What do you feel from, like, when you're watching or experiencing that? What does it feel like? Like the nerves, the anxiety, like what's the feeling?
I was kind of like, no way. I was like,
You were like, no way.
I was like, no. I couldn't see if it was on or off, but I was like, no.
So you just, I think that's interesting. You didn't get too high or too low in that moment. You just went, no.
I think that was like how the whole tournament felt. It's like truly, I think we like didn't get too high on our highs or too low on our lows. Like I think of like when Germany answered and it was 1-1. And I think like we didn't get rattled. Like I think we were just like, we kept steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie.
We were just like,
Is Steady Eddie? Well, who said Steady Eddie? Emma?
Mal.
And I thought she was saying steady Yeti, like Y-E-T. I didn't really get it.
We just had been talking about how we like wanted like
Steady
not
Eddie.
get too high on our highs, too low on our lows. And I was like, just like stay steady. And Mal was like, steady Eddie.
Where did that idea like originate? Do you think that was Emma's influence on the team, was just this Steady Eddie approach? Or was it internal to you guys?
We did our like charter, like the pillars.
Yeah.
Emma had sat down with like staff and they made like pillars of like what they not accomplished but values.
Yeah.
And then the team did one separately. And I feel like that was
Yeah.
kind of what we talked about, just staying. And even of course it's also like we have a new coach. This could go a completely different way too. So they could have been, you know what I mean? Like you said, like we could have been flip-flopped.
Yeah.
But then how do you keep building? And what else did we say? Be a goldfish, you know, forget the mistakes and move on. So it's kind of like this steady, like how do we just keep going? I don't know, just kept working.
Yeah, like nothing can derail you, nothing good, nothing bad. You have the same goal, regardless.
Yeah, and I think we knew there was going to be mistakes. Like we're still learning very much under a new staff. But how can we take that and apply it quickly to the next training, and then into the game?
Wow. I did it again. Okay, I want to talk about the gold medal winning moment. When Mal scored in the 57th minute, Corbin Albert played a through ball, and for a moment it looked like maybe Soph was going to run onto it or Mal could run onto it, but Mal picked it up. She brought it right in on goal. She slaughtered it far post, as we've seen her do a million times in the NWSL and for the national team. And then there was a second where like she had to turn her head and check if the flag was up, because she could have, like, it was close and Soph was maybe offside. So there was a moment where we were all like, oh my God, please, 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 is this going to count? What was going in those few seconds before we really knew for sure? Like, did you guys know for sure? Did you even think about offside? Like, what went through your mind?
I thought offside at first. Like I like waited to celebrate because you know how annoying. Like I feel like it happened to us in Tokyo. Like so many offsides goal and you celebrate like crazy, and then all of a sudden it's offside and you're like,
you have a headache. And
you're like, like I'm embarrassed. Like, but yeah. So I'm like I like waited because I was like we were like the people that were warming up. We all kind of were like, I think that was off. Was that off? And then it wasn't, and then we got.
What were you feeling?
I think kind of the same. Oh, but like,
Were you in by then?
No, I don't think so. I think we were actually warming up. I think I missed it too. So, so I'm like reading it. I'm reading the energy from everyone else. But I think I was kind of like the furthest person away.
So you were warming up on the sideline, so you may not have really seen the details of the goal.
No, not until after.
Okay, so that was the 57th minute. So you all held off Brazil for the remaining 30 plus minutes. You held off Marta in her final major international tournament game as the clock ticked down. In those last seconds, I'm gonna bring up 2019 one more time because I just remember in like stoppage time knowing like we were up 2-0. There was just no way. And even before the game ended, I started to like go like this. Did that happen? Or was there no time? Like how did you feel as the clock ticked down and the whistle blew?
Well, I think it's like it was only 1-0, and like at that point they're pushing for a goal, and like Alyssa had a crazy save, so it was kind of like honestly like I wasn't feeling like oh my gosh
we didn't feel like that.
Yeah, no,
We didn't have that.
no,
Okay. But then the whistle blew.
yeah.
And then what?
I don't know. I was like, this doesn't feel like it didn't feel like real. I was like, this definitely needs to sink in. But it was so fun, like just being able to run around and give everyone hugs.
Who did you hug first?
I think I ran to the
Alyssa.
group.
I think
That
it
was like
Alyssa.
the Alyssa
Yeah.
group.
The Alyssa group.
The Alyssa group.
And then like, did you guys hug each other? Like, what did you say?
Us?
Yeah.
We don't hug. Best friends don't hug.
I know, I actually like agree. Did I hug you guys?
I don't even know if I've hugged you.
We jumped up and down in your like little
I feel like we
flare.
jump up and down. We don't hug.
Yeah. Jumping up and down is kind of like hugging.
Yeah,
You think? Oh yeah.
For me.
And now for me.
insane.
Okay, back to the final. You just won a gold medal. Your families were in the stands. Like, did you get to go talk to them? Like, how did you feel seeing them?
Good.
Really good. I had friends there, college friends. That was super fun. Sister was there. My parents didn't
Oh, my
cry.
sister was there too. Oh, my mom cried.
Oh, I didn't see them crying, but I hope they cried over there. And you know, we can't go to our families right away. We had to go get in our little like outfits and then come back out and then do the ceremony
Wait,
and then
tell
go
me
see
more
them.
about that. So you couldn't see your families right away,
Or you shouldn't have. I think like Lynn like ran over.
but then you had to go in the locker room. Did you shower and put on your
No, you have to put on your outfit,
sweaty?
sweaty, and then
Did you
sweaty
fix
Eddie.
Did you guys like fix your makeup or face or anything?
I put my hoops in.
I took my hair tie out and then put a scrunchie in.
Cute.
So cute.
So you're sweaty, you go back out in your outfits, and you got your medals. Yeah. What was that moment like? Were you on the top of the podium?
We kept talking about what we were gonna do when we stepped up. Everyone kept changing. Like, do you hold hands, step up, arms up, down, bow, back down? Sounds complicated. Well, there was like 4 different changes from like Mal or whoever was on the right side of the photo. I remember talking about that a lot. That took up a lot of time.
Well, what did you end up doing?
Up, step up, hands down, hands up, wave.
Wow.
I think. You should ask Lynn, because I feel like she was the creator.
Oh, well, okay, I'll ask Lynn. How did it feel being on the podium as gold medalists compared to bronze? Like, I feel like in Japan, when we had bronze medals, we were kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't like a dream come true moment. It was kind of like we were frustrated underneath it all and we were trying to enjoy it, but it wasn't like the sweetest moment ever. Was this so different?
I feel like it was different because it wasn't a big build-up. Usually you're like building up with the same staff. And this is like my own take. I don't know if maybe I've mentioned this to you. I feel like it was such a short build-up and then like we win. And now it's like, now we build off this huge win. It was just I usually think of like years of layering in things where they had to so quickly layer in years worth of or months worth of information in weeks.
Well, something that was my next question actually was sometimes world tournaments feel like the end of a cycle, the end of that group being together. Maybe the staff is leaving, maybe some players are retiring, and that group might never be together again, oftentimes at a world tournament. Did this feel instead like it was the beginning of something rather than the end?
Yeah, I literally kept saying that. Like, I think that's like all of my like tournament experiences. It's like, it's all comes down to this, like this tournament, you know? And it is, it's like, it's always the end of something because you're never going to be that team ever again. And like, still with this like gold medal team, it's like, you still don't know what could happen. Like, we probably won't be that same exact group, players and staff. Like, you don't know who comes and goes. But I do think the whole tournament, it was like, no matter what happens, like this is the start of something. And I think it's the start of something that everyone's really excited about.
What was Emma's like winning speech? Like whenever you guys got all back together after the game, whether it was in the locker room or later in the night, like what did she say?
I feel like she was just like so excited.
So cute.
Did we meet? Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like after you just like.
There was like no.
Like there wasn't like a huddle.
We did have a huddle. Sonnett was like, Sonnett told her it's all downhill from here.
No, I said, you started too strong. And she laughed. And then to the rest of the team goes, and like Sonnett just told me, it's downhill from here. And I was like, that's not what I said. But it was like hilarious.
That is so hilarious. I like love that so much. And then what was the celebration like? Were you it looked fun. Did you sing Celine Dion again?
No, the DJ wouldn't put it on. I know.
Ooh.
Was it fun?
But
Did
it's
you
like,
sing it all? Yeah, it was fun.
I don't know.
It was fun having our family there and friends.
What's like your lasting memory from the party? Like what's the story that you'll tell in 10 years?
Okay, I don't. I just keep saying the one, which I'm like, I don't even know. Just me waking up the next morning, being like, my knee is so sore.
And I was like, yeah, you were breakdancing on the floor. And she was kind of like, for how long? And I was like, it felt pretty long. There's a few like people who got like did some floor work, but Rose was one of them, and she was down there, and she kind
But
of.
you know
felt
me, I'm like
sore.
always sprinting around those things. Like I'm always like, where was I the whole time?
You do sprint around. Like you like give little visits to everybody and then you disappear.
Yeah, you probably talked to every single person inside that.
I know.
That barn.
Like I'm like, everyone's on the dance floor, and I'm like, I don't know what I was doing, and time just like flies.
You don't have to tell me. I know, girls. Okay, we're about to wrap up here. You're talking about this feeling like the beginning of something that everybody's really excited about. Not only was this group overall pretty young, but there were even some players left at home like Lily Johannes and Mia Fischel, who almost certainly will be part of the team moving forward. What do you think this team will take with it from the Olympics moving forward into a couple years now without a major tournament before the World Cup in 2027? You have more time to build under Emma Hayes, and this is like, it feels like the start of this new era. What are the lasting things the team is going to take with it, do you think?
Honestly, what I felt the whole tournament, like because we had such a short time with the staff, I felt like even given how like well the tournament went, I still felt like we're literally just scratching the surface of what we can do. And then you think of like players like Lily and Mia who like aren't in currently, and like just them adding to the group. And I think it's just going to be such an exciting time for the team. And I think it's been a while since we've had a kind of summer off, I guess, where we don't have a like qualifying or a major tournament. So I think it's just going to be like a huge opportunity for like growth and experience for everybody. And yeah, I think like the best is yet to come.
I love that. What about you, Sonny?
I think I'm most impressed with our group, and it's kind of the same, but the growth mindset. If we can do that, or how much information we could take in and apply most of it, some of the time, you know what I mean? Some of the time, I mean, it wasn't perfect. Then I think that's the biggest thing for the whole entire group to take. Like you said, like we don't have a tournament next summer, or how much more time we can have with the coaches and those camps leading for the next couple of years. I think that's probably the biggest.
Okay, well, I think it sounds like you have a lot of momentum going into the next couple of years. And speaking of momentum, we're here at Gotham's training facility today. Your girls are back here. There are 10 games left in the regular NWSL season, playoffs on the line, and I know you have some other games like the CONCACAF Champions Cup coming up, so it's going to be a busy couple of months here. How are you feeling about returning to NWSL play and carrying momentum from the Olympic tournament into the rest of Gotham's season?
Excited.
Excited.
Go.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's great coming back and having that momentum, but just getting back into a routine and playing with our friends.
Well, it's very fitting to end the interview the way we started it with a short answer from you both. I'm so happy.
Wait, was this redemption? Do you feel?
Yes, thank you guys. I do quickly just want to say I'm really, really proud of you both. I miss playing with you guys a lot, but it's so fun. Like, I just want to tell everybody I showed up at Rose's apartment last night at 9:30 and we literally jumped up and down, and it's like we have the exact same friendship, and I'm so grateful for that because I really, really, really miss you guys, and I'm just grateful that we have the same.
Sam, you're gonna make me tear up.
We have the same relationship, and I hope it never changes. And I'm really proud of you. You're a gold medalist.
Let's jump up and down.
Okay.
Is that how you wanted to end it?
Yeah. I know.
Really?
Perfect. Cut. Thanks, you guys. That was really good.
Was that serious enough?